They were. And that's what I'm saying.
So
but what I'm also saying is that I don't think that the NFL is not going to happen this season.
Do you think it'll be delayed? Do you think it'll be delayed?
No, I think that the NFL is going to go as according to schedule.
We'll see, man. Again, to me, it's up to the players, man. They're the ones on the field. If you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why they have their players association.
The contracts in the NFL are so different.
But if everybody holds out,
different.
But if everybody holds out,
in the NFL, if you hold out, they won't pay you.
Yeah,
if you hold out long enough, they're not going to pay you.
This is why
in the NBA. That's not how it works.
This is why the NBA is my favorite league, because they got shit like this covered. You know what I'm saying? Like they respect their players a lot more than the NFL does.
They give players a lot more say.
Yeah, they do
for sure.
And it's maybe it's because the amount of players. Because in the NFL you got 32 teams. You got 2 more teams with like 40 more players. And in the NBA,
more players, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like hella players. And in the NBA, it's not like that. In the NBA, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like.
Like in the NBA, what they're trying to do now is easier for them to control it.
But also
in the NFL, it's not that easy. There's so many players.
But I also feel that the way the NBA is structured and the commissioners they had, even though David Stern has some shady shit going on with him, Adam Silver is, you know what I'm saying? Like Adam Silver to me is one of those guys. I'm still mad
we got a road named
like Adam Silver, like for president. You know what I mean? Like Adam Silver got that shit. Like he is so diplomatic, and I just feel the way the NBA is structured. You know what I'm saying? The power they give to the owners versus the power they give to the commissioner versus the power they give to the players. It's almost like a 3-branch thing. It's almost like its own fucking
Roger
little government.
Goodell is a puppet.
He is a puppet. And that kind of sucks.
The commissioner of the NBA is not a puppet.
He's not. No, actually, no. He's more like a president. Of
Probably
the
biggest difference.
Right. But man, how nice is it gonna be
once you get into the stands and buy a $15 beer?
Yeah, no. What is it like? You pay like $15 for like a tall can. Man,
I can get Coors Light.
I can get 3 tall cans for like $5 anywhere. Right. But over there, you get 1 tall can for like it's like
15.
3 times the money for 1 times the beer, as opposed to, you know what I'm saying?
Hey man, hold on, slow down on the math.
No. You know what? I think I might need another drink now that we talking about alcohol.
Man.
Yeah, huh?
Give me your cup.
All right. But okay, look. This is a discussion that we've had, you know, as well too, and that comes down to, you know, again, we're in Sacramento, okay, and Sacramento is it's one of the scenes where when it comes to like breweries and not only does Sacramento have breweries, but Sacramento has a lot of like micro brew enthusiasts. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like for example,
it's created a culture.
Yeah. Like for example, our boy Ruben, right? He travels to fucking SoCal probably like what, once or twice a month? Or no, sorry.
And he claims it's because he wants to see his sister. But let's all be real.
Bro. We see you, bro. Yeah, we see you, man. You out there for the beer,
all be
man.
Real.
No, shout out to that guy. But look, no. Like the whole West Coast. I think if you look from fucking like Oregon, Washington, all the way down to SoCal and everything in the middle. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's like this giant micro brew. You know, I mean, like we are the capital of that shit. I don't know if they're micro brewing in fucking Georgia, but we ain't hearing about that. You know what I'm saying? Like we hear it out here. And one of the original, I don't know if it was the original micro brew, but kind of one of the early popular, you know, step away from the macro brew was like Sierra Nevada, right?
Yeah, they kind of dynamic that into a new age of beer.
Right. Yeah, they did. They kind of introduced something different.
Right.
Where it used to just be Bud Light, Budweiser, Coors Banquet, Miller. And I mean, I guess Milwaukee's best.
And then you got your Coronas, your other like domestic, non-domestic lagers.
And you know what? I think it comes down to what are you trying to do that day? See, if I'm going to a sporting event, or if I'm going to be hosting something, watching football on Sunday, and we're going to be barbecuing, I'm probably not going to go buy a fucking little growler. You know what I mean? I'm probably going to go get something that I can drink all day without crashing by 11:30 a.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, something you could drink consistently throughout the day without just getting faded in the first hour.
Right. And it's like, you know, I guess, I don't know, man. I guess it's nice that we're in this time where you can get the lightest of the light and you can drink like fucking a whole 30-pack of Coors Light to the head and not really feel too much. Or you can just go buy a fucking 6-pack and have 5 other people with you and y'all all drink one and be faded.
Yeah, be good. You know what I mean? Sure. 9% beer. I mean, it's like almost.
What was your experience, man? How did you jump from regular? Because we go back and we drank 40 ounces of Mickey's and 40 ounces of Miller Genuine. We drank 32 is a highlight, which I still do to this day. Don't get me wrong. I still drink me a 32 or whatever. I still drink me a 40 ounce. So I still get me tall cans. Like, that's never going to go away because sometimes I only want to spend $4 and have a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's never real. I'll do some push-ups the next day to balance it out. You know what I mean? But
you're economical.
Yeah, exactly. But I also enjoy them though too. It's not like I'm not gonna be drinking it if I don't like it. Like it to me.
Oh, right.
I'll fuck with a 32 ounce of Miller High Life. You know what I'm saying? Like I just had one the other day with Joe. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Like I fuck with that.
Right.
But what was your experience? How did you jump from? Like what was your introduction to it?
So like for me. Like I had started.
It's hot as fuck with this whiskey. Young. I ain't gonna lie.
I had started drinking young, and it was like the nasty shit. It was the brandy, right? It was the nasty shit.
E&J.
Yeah, that nasty. Just I don't know what I'm drinking shit, right? And so I transitioned from that
gin.
into a beer, and most of the beer that I was drinking was just like whatever, like I didn't know nothing, so I would buy the Coronas, and I thought, oh yeah, the Coronas. These are like these are. Shit, right? You could drink these in the summertime and everybody loves them.
But at that time, that was probably the best option available.
Sure,
right?
It was. But like you said, we went through the Mickey stage. We went through all of the heavier kind of what would you call them? Like the 211,
like the malt
liquors, right? We went through that kind of stage, right? But then you realize once you start drinking that Bud Light stuff, right? Because the time it really hit me was when we were playing beer pong. Right, because that was like the beer of beer pong. You're not drinking IPAs. You're not drinking nothing else.
Well, I don't even think IPA was around when we were playing beer pong. When we first started playing beer
right,
pong.
Exactly. It wasn't.
So okay, so what would you say? Okay, when were you introduced? When can you recall the first time? Like, how did you discover the microbrew phase? Can you recall that?
It had to have been
your earliest memory.
It wasn't even that long ago. It had to have been like.
Couple years, man. At least a couple years.
No, yeah,
man.
like 2016.
Okay, see, but that's when it started taking over.
Okay.
It's not like you were late on it.
Oh no,
I think you picked up right when it started
as soon
happening.
As, so when I had started drinking it, there were probably like 4 breweries in Sacramento, like 4 microbreweries.
Do you know what they were?
One of them I believe was Bike Dog, and that was in West Sac.
Okay.
Another one that I went to was Track 7.
Yeah, that's a popular one.
That one was also open at that time. And then there was a couple more in West Sac that I went to. And then eventually you just started hearing of so many of them popping up all over town. Right. Then you got some popping up in Fair Oaks, and you got some popping up in South Sacramento and Oak Park.
Right.
And then that's when that microbrewery just started taking off.
It started launching.
And what happened was I had went to a microbrewery and I realized they have a variety of beers that not only give you a variety of flavors, but a variety of alcohol content.
Right. That's the biggest piece.
That's one of the things that kind of brought me to it. Like, I never knew one beer can make me feel this way. Right. And so once I had it, I was like, oh, yeah, this is a transition I can get used to.
Right.
It tastes better. It's full of flavor. It's not like drinking a Budweiser.
Budweiser fucking Calistoga sparkling water.
Yeah, right. It kind of makes you realize that what we're getting commercially from all over the big companies across the United States was watered down.
Right.
It was watered down.
Macro brew.
Yeah.
Massively produced with low quality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then I started, indulging a little bit more, and then I was, eventually I had started throwing a couple little recipes together myself, but it was just the excitement of something new.
And not just the excitement, but it gave you something different to do, because going to a bar and going to a brewery are 2 very different experiences.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are 2 very different experiences. And, when there's probably a time, before, see, okay, this is how I can, like, kind of interpret it, and all that banging and shit, that's the bourbon bottle, y'all. But look, like, my whole thing is this, like, the microbrew, beers, they're kind of like, you can replace it with what back in the day you might have just had a glass of whiskey with, right? Like, yeah, you can probably drink Bud Lights and shit when you're gonna, like, have dinner. You know what I mean? Like, you could, but if you have one
or a
8%, or if you have like 8% beer to go with your steak dinner, it hits a little bit different.
Yeah,
like
sure.
For me, for example, like I'm drinking bourbon tonight, but I'm not really a liquor drinker, and you know that about me. I'm not a big liquor drinker because it's just hard for me to kind of gauge how it's gonna hit me. With beer, it's a little bit easier. You know what I mean? With beer, I know if I drink one beer, I know exactly how the next beer is gonna affect me. You know what I mean? Unless I go on my rampage and I start cracking 3 at a time and just Stone Cold Steve Austin that shit, which I can do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's when it's fucking like macro brew. You know, I don't do that with IPAs or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So the experience of going to a brewery is much different than going to like a bar. The atmosphere is different. The atmosphere is more laid back. Breweries can be active when the sun is still out. Bars can be active when the sun is still out, but they tend to be more active when it's night because they have hard alcohol. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and it's not.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you can drink hard liquor in the daytime, but it's more of a nighttime thing. I think generally it's more of a nighttime thing, like unless you're just on a mission. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like you can go to a brewery at 6, 7 p.m. and it'll be filled because that's the kind of vibe that breweries bring. You know?
Well, not only that, but you got to pay attention to the layout, right? So when you walk into a bar, well, it's the definition. A bar. It's just one long bar that's sitting there and everybody's there. Yeah. So the only people you really interact with is the people sitting right next to you.
Or the bartender.
Right? But when you go to a brewery, it's like you go there and there's tables. There's people all around. There's playing games. Like it's more interactive, right? But like you said, it's more of a daytime thing.
It is. It's more of like, it's almost like, I don't know, it's like a little, like almost like a theme park like kind of thing to it. It's like you can go to a brewery and have a beer without the feeling of, oh, I'm going to go get drunk. See, like if you go to a bar, you're going to go have drinks and get faded. You know what I mean?
You know what's going to happen.
What's going to happen. And especially, again, because it's more popping at night.
Right.
So you can just drink until you're the fucking night.
And then they're
running to the
music.
Ground.
And they're
hella loud. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You know how, well, I mean, everybody knows how it gets. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, the brewery thing not only bring a new, kind of a new like style, I guess. Like it almost brought like
a new public scene.
But it was also a new style of alcohol. It's like, yeah, you have beer, and then you have hard liquor, and you have wine, you have champagne, then you have microbrews. Like it's almost its own category. You know what I mean? Like it's almost its own thing. So, and again, we're on the West Coast. And in Sacramento, you know, man, and that's what sucks about this whole fucking lockdown thing, because it's like when everything reopens, I hope all those small businesses and breweries, I hope they maintain. I hope they're still there.
They're struggling.
I hope, because, man, dude,
they're struggling.
I know there's a couple places that I'm a fan of, you know, in Midtown and in downtown that kind of never shut down fully. And if they did, they were pushing hard on their deliveries and stuff. So I know some businesses are going to be okay. But
well,
I just hope, if you're a business owner and you're listening to this in Sacramento, man, I'm fucking rooting for you guys, man. I want you guys, because you guys were making our city. Yeah, all those little restaurants, like Sacramento was booming, and we had just opened Golden One, and all those fucking places were opening up and doing their thing. So it's like, man, I hope you guys all fucking make it, man. Like, we're rooting for you guys, because you guys are our city right now.
Y'all define us.
You know what I mean? Seriously. And you guys are bringing that new flavor of fun, that new experience for everyone in town. And if you go to those breweries, bro, you see everybody from fucking 21 years old to fucking 60-year-olds.
It's
you know
a culture.
what I mean? It's a culture. And like, those are one of the very places